All right, let's talk about your garden. If this summer felt like a bit of a battle, with some plants just thriving and others completely giving up, you are definitely not alone. But what if the secret to a much stronger, more resilient garden next year is already out there, right in your own backyard? It's time to take this year's wins and turn them into a kind of genetic savings account for the future. I want you to think about it this way. This past season, with all its crazy weather, was basically a final exam for your plants. It was a massive stress test. So who passed? Who were the champions? Which plants just shrugged off the heat while others wilted? Those are the ones we're going to focus on. Because, those plants that really shined, well, they didn't just get lucky. They have something special coded right into their genes that proves they've got what it takes to make it in your specific spot on the planet. They are literally the blueprint for a garden that doesn't just hang on, but actually thrives. So let's get into the strategy. We're going to lean on the wisdom of horticulturalist Graeme Farrer here, who really nails it by calling this process analyzing your garden's final exam. The whole goal is to find those A-plus students in your garden and build a personal seed bank full of proven winners. And this right here, this is the core idea. It's called hyper-local evolution. A seed you save from your own garden is just infinitely more powerful than one from a generic packet. Why? Because your seed came from a parent that already figured out how to succeed in your unique soil with your weather. It's basically custom built for your backyard. Let's really look at the difference. On one side, you've got those generic seeds from the store. They've probably been coddled in a perfect greenhouse. You have no idea how they'll actually perform. But on the other side, you've got your survivor seeds. These guys are proven warriors. They're already adapted, and they carry a kind of climate intelligence with them. And the science on this is just so cool. It's a real thing called epigenetic memory. See, when a plant makes it through a tough, dry summer, it actually passes a memory of that stress down to its seeds. So its babies are kind of pre-programmed to be better prepared for those same conditions. You're not just saving the seed, you are literally saving learned wisdom. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds amazing, but how do I actually do it? Well, the great news is it's not complicated at all. We're going to walk through a really simple 3-step action plan to help you build this bank of genetic resilience, and you can start today. Here it is, the whole roadmap. Step 1 is selection. This is where we get really picky about choosing the absolute best of the best. Step 2 is maintenance. I'll show you 2 simple tricks to make sure your seeds last. And step 3 is pioneers. We'll talk about 3 super easy plants to start with so you can get a win right away. Okay, let's jump into selection. Now, this first step is all about your mindset. You have to think of yourself as a ruthless editor of your garden's genetic future. Seriously, if you save seeds from a weak, struggling plant, you're just choosing to grow more weak, struggling plants next year. We're doing the exact opposite. We are breeding for strength. And here's your new rule of thumb. The magic number is 5%. That's it. You only want to collect seeds from the top 5% of your plants, the absolute rock stars, the ones that looked incredible in the worst of the heat with the least amount of help from you. Being this strict is what guarantees your future garden will be tougher and more resistant naturally. All right, on to step 2, maintenance. And I've got a couple of super simple wins for you. Win number 1 is the breathable harvest. When you go out to collect seed heads, please use paper bags, never plastic. Paper lets air move around, which stops moisture from building up and causing mold. Oh, and probably a good idea to label the bag. Okay, win number 2 is all about storage. Your number 1 enemy here is moisture. It's the absolute killer of seeds. It makes them rot or sprout way too early. The fix is so easy. Just store your seeds in a cool, dark place with something that absorbs moisture. One of those little silica gel packets works great, but you know what else works? A teaspoon of plain old uncooked rice in the jar. Done. So step 3, where do you start? If you're new to this, just start with one of these pioneer plants. They're basically foolproof. Calendula seeds are big and super easy to collect. Nigella, or Love in a Mist, loves dry soil and has these cool seed pods that practically scream when they're ready. And hey, if you had a tomato plant that just wouldn't quit this summer, save those seeds. You just captured a heat-tolerant superstar for next year's dinner. So let's just zoom out for a second. When you really think about it, this is about so much more than just saving a few seeds. This is about completely changing your relationship with your garden. I think that quote from Graeme Farrer just captures it all perfectly. Every single tiny seed you save holds all that potential, all that information. It really is a promise for a stronger, more beautiful garden in the future. And that's really the big shift here. You are literally stepping off that hamster wheel of buying new plants every spring and just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. Instead, you're becoming an active part of your garden's own evolution. You're starting a cycle of growing and adapting. So what's your next step? What can you do today? It's this simple. Go outside. Find those top 5% performers, the plants that really, truly impressed you this year, and just tie a little ribbon on them. That's it. That one simple act is your first step to building a garden that's not just surviving, but is getting ready to thrive.